What's going on, everybody? It's the Red Cup Review. After a week's hiatus, it's good to be back in the studio with my best buddy Baz, and of course, as promised, we have the Zaid brothers, the dynamic duo with us, created some Magic Cop and the Lost Pages, Comicsgate's finest. It's good to have them back as always. And I needed a friggin' week off. Baz has been telling me that I've been kind of dragging my heels here on the live shows because of the way the job has been, in between the pandemic and now the riots that are pretty much engulfing the nation. I'm like living in the Twilight Zone, but it's good to be back anyway.
Yeah. I hear that.
Hells yeah. So as always, don't be a hanger-on. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and otherwise like the video, and let's get on. Right now, we got the Toy Mafia with us, and the Briscoe. Obviously, drop a comment if you want to get a shout-out or something, so we know you're in the chat. Zaid brothers, what's going on? I'm halfway through Magic Cop. I didn't have a chance to read the rest of it today like I wanted to, but I'm more than halfway. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it.
Nice.
At least somebody's getting some use out of those bookmarks. So.
Yeah. So we're doing good, man. Magic Cop shipping went well. Got all those books out. We have just a few copies left. We have like 12 left. So if people haven't gotten that, they're still up there, and then we're closing it down. But we've been working hard and promoting this new book that we're here to talk about, The Lost Pages. A bunch of cool art and lots of action for you guys. We just launched it a week ago, Friday. So as you can see, it's going super strong. It's mind-blowing how well we're doing just a week into it.
Yeah, I told you guys when I had saw this that I was pretty hyped for this, even more so for Magic Cop, because it seemed like these little mini stories kind of with the different artists and different takes on these different characters and world building. I thought it was an awesome idea. So
thank you. Yeah, we've been working on it for a long time, and we're finally super excited to bring it to everybody, for sure. Just kind of like
what's the premise of this book?
So this one is, like Rob was saying, it's a bunch of different stories about different characters, but it's all told linearly through the voice of this homeless man who's on that first page that you scrolled past. He has the actual magical book that contains all of the stories of these characters. Now, these characters in this world are totally real. They are, crime fighters. They fight evil, and eventually they'll come together. They'll meet each other. But in this one, it's building the foundation. So you have 4 different stories in here told by that hobo of different heroes from different eras and genres. So if you guys are a fan of vigilante noir stories, there's a character in there for you. If you like horror and mythology, this is the one right here, Wild Card. If you like 90s comics, ultra violence, the next one, Crimstone, is your guy. It's totally like a Lobo with a Max, totally bombastic action. And then we have like a throwback character as well named the Masquerade, who's that pulpy kind of hero like the Shadow or the Green Hornet. So we're playing with a bunch of different characters and building this world kind of like Marvel or DC. So this is going to be our Zaid Comics universe filled with these awesome heroes.
That first page is beautiful. Jesus Christ.
Thanks, man.
Is Magic Cop separate from this, or are they part of this universe too?
Yeah, so it's a totally different IP. There's maybe some hints of some crossover characters that might come down the line as it's part of like the Zaid Comics multiverse. But for the most part, it's totally different universe. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, shit, man, I can't wait to get my hands on them. How's it been coming along as far as like
look at that. What a great action shot. Shit.
Is it obviously
it's amazing.
It's written up. How is the artwork coming along? Is it all ready to go? I mean, is this going to be launching sooner or later or what? Like as far as
so the turnaround time is going to be a lot quicker than what we had for Magic Cop. It took us like I'd say 10 or 8 months to get Magic Cop out, from start to finish. This one we have a lot done already. That silhouette character, his story is totally done. All of our hobo pages just came in, so they just need to be colored. They need to be lettered. And then we have 2 pages completely done for the campaign page. We really wanted to show off the different styles and story, because even the storytelling is different. Like the writing is different on this one. I kind of wanted to show the different styles of writing that I could put out as well.
You're writing all the stories?
Yeah, all the stories are written by me, and they're drawn by different people.
Freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, and this right here, what we're looking at is the Andrew Huerta silhouette trading card that comes free with the book if you guys order it today. You know, it was a week long, so after today, it's not going to be available for anyone else that backs it after this point. So if you guys are thinking about it, definitely grab one today so you could, seal that trading card in.
Yeah, no, I just backed mine too. But
Yeah.
me and you, Phil, were talking right before the show a couple hours ago, and I was kind of on the fence about backing it right away because I kind of dragged my heels with Magic Cop just out of being busy with other shit. I knew I was going to get onto it eventually, and now with this, I'm like, all right, I got the week. You know, the trading card for me is like, all right, that's cool, but my biggest focus was the other book, right? I want to make sure that. Look, I'm a trade guy, right? So I know that some people that do these Comicsgate things get them. They come in floppy form, or they come in trade. Like the Magic Cop was feels like a real book. Like you guys put a lot of effort into making that feel like a quality book. You know,
right?
When you touch it, it has like the pages have like a gloss to them, and it's it feels nice. It's got some sturdiness to it.
Yeah.
And I asked you, is this book going to be the same? You're like, yeah, definitely the main book. And the secondary book, if it gets backing. But you guys seem to be doing really good with the backing, and I want to make sure that I was asking you, can I jump on or maybe increase or decrease? So right now I just got the regular book because I just wanted to put something in there just to make sure I got on it. But if anything, I'll be getting that refund and getting both books in the coming weeks if that's possible.
Yeah. The cool thing about the bonus book, if you scroll down here, it shows kind of some of the stories in there. This bonus comic called The Myths of the Lost Pages is a growing, living comic. So it starts off with 3 stories. They're 4 pages each, and they're short stories. So it has some of the characters that we've seen in the previous, the main book. So there's the Masquerade, and the next one's Crimstone. And as we reach higher stretch goals, we're adding more stories, introducing new characters to the world. So the first one we're going to introduce, it's going to be a 4-page short story that Brandon's going to be drawing, dealing with a badass babe assassin named the Pianist. And then from there, it's we're introducing more and more characters with even more artists that aren't in the main book. We got guys like Simon Simpotier, who's doing Blood Hunt, his own comic. This is a vampire book, part of Comicsgate. He's an awesome artist. He's going to be doing another character. E.J. Morgis, who's doing some backup stories on the next Cyberfrog. He's a great artist, and a bunch of more great talents that we're going to be working with for the bonus comic. So that one's going to increase. It's going to increase page count. It's going to have fan art in it, and behind the scenes content as well. So.
Well, we're going to push it here as much as we can.
Thank you.
However our outreach goes. And speaking of which, just a comment. I know, Brandon, you drew Magic Cop, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I wanted to mention that I was reading it, and at one point I had said to myself, "This reminds me of a specific. You ready for this? Salvador Dali painting." Okay, the art in there, and I was like, "Am I imagining this, or like?" I was like, "Yeah, I know he doesn't draw like Dali does." And then it was, the painting where the clocks are kind of like melting in the background and stuff. And it's not that your art is trippy or anything. It was just, I don't know if it was the colorist or the way the Magic Cop's actual suit that he wears kind of flows or something. But it totally reminded me of that Dali painting.
Yeah, I got when I was drawing it at first. A lot of people were saying that it's like a really interesting art style where it kind of has an imperfection to it. But it's consistently imperfect, so it kind of works on every page. So it becomes a style instead of somebody who doesn't know how to draw.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I thought that the art matched it felt like a real, not a real world, but like the universe that you were creating felt like it meshed.
Thanks.
It was. It felt like it didn't feel like the writing and the art didn't work together, and like I was into the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm locked in a minute, and I think that's a testament not only to just the art being consistent, but you know, and Phil, I don't know if whose idea this was, but like, you know, when you get brought in with like the credits, the Baz mentioned it a few times, the opening credits to the comic, and the way it go, like it has like an episodic feel from one issue to the next. You know, like I'm glad you guys did it with like different issues where it was like there's breaking points.
Yeah.
So like if you were sitting on the bowl taking a shit and you're reading the comic and you're like, the logical break point.
Yeah.
You know, because the issue or the episode ends.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you mean if? What do you mean if you're sitting on a bowl taking a shit reading a comic? That's how you read your comics.
That's like a commercial break, basically.
Exactly. They like it just worked naturally. So
share screen. I want to give props over here.
Ooh.
I love this image, bro.
Thank you.
This is the composition, the colors, especially, you know, the woman. But this is a great print. I definitely want, you know, like a little poster of it. If you know, I'll pay for it, whatever the heck. I just, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it looks like it's not going to meet its goal over here. This is what, more lethal, and it's at $1,310. And I think your print gets activated at 3,000, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about this is, you know, Aaron, our buddy that is running this, he could, after the 31 days are up, he could put it in demand like we were for Magic Cop. So as long as he keeps pushing it, people keep backing this book. He could eventually unlock it, and then everybody would get that as well. Because I know that he's bringing on some more artists for some more pages. So there's still a ways to go in the production of this as well.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. I want that print somehow, motherfuckers.
Go back down to the print.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I had a lot of fun with this piece. I I approached him and I was like, yeah, I would love to do a naughty prints, because the naughty prints were so successful on Magic Cop. I thought it would be really cool for our friends who are also creators to have a piece that I would do for them. So I did it for him, and he added it to the campaign, and I just loved it so much. Using the concepts that Joe Ball had done in his original design for the character, and making it, like the robot lady, and putting those like circuitries inside of her and stuff, and I just
very Ex Machina-ish.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what you really fucking nailed though, which is weird though. I don't know if everybody would look. Most people wouldn't notice this, but you nailed the hands. Like the hands there, like they look really like relaxed. Like it matches her expression.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So yeah,
hands are sometimes really hit or miss, and here.
They are.
Worked so well. Everything just came together on the body. Her face worked really, really well. Just everything worked perfectly.
Yeah, great stuff, man. That's gonna be on my wall, brother.
Yeah. So I love that piece too.
I'm gonna take this down. I want to share something myself now. We gotta go back to another screen share thing. Hold on. Screen share, Chrome 10, and to here. Here we go. Etsy shop. So talk to us about the Etsy shop, gentlemen.
Oh, great. So I wanted to do an Etsy shop, kind of like a t-shirt and like merchandise hub for a lot of creators. And we work here in this company that affords a lot of opportunities for us to do cool things like this. So we have the equipment to make our own shirts, and I thought what a really cool idea would be to also have our shirts, but other creators' shirts that just want to have a cool place to have one-off shirts, like made to order, easy for everybody. So at first I put up some of my art. So I did like these pinup style pastry chicks that are down here at the bottom. I wanted to do I like these shirts that have like this military style pinup girl on them. I think that's super cool. So I did these pieces. And then after that, threw up some Magic Cop shirts. And then we also have some shirts from some other creators on there, like the Ace shirt. And then after the Magic Cop shirt, we put up the Lost Pages shirt, which is our newest one. And that's actually the Simon Bisley cover right on that shirt, and we sold. They're actually shipping one out today, so that's super
It's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's good shit. Do you guys print out your own show? You guys have like a printing press machine, or this company takes care of it for you?
Yeah, so we do all of that stuff here at the company, but for the most part, I go over there and press the shirts myself. So all the shirts are printed, heat applied, and basically everything runs through my hands.
Nice. That's good. That's freaking good though, man. I got a guy at my job that prints up shirts sometimes for the people at the job, like DSNY stuff for the sanitation guys. So he does the same shit. He's got he treats them onto the t-shirts and all that bullshit.
That's cool.
So there you go, guys. Go check out the Etsy. Just type in Zaid Comics. That's how I keep finding you guys on Indiegogo. I don't have the links. Anytime I want to go order whatever it is, I just type in either the Lost Pages or Magic Cop or Zaid Comics or whatever. So give it, whoever's watching that's not totally familiar with you guys, just type in any of those things and you'll be able to get them.
Yeah.
Have you guys what were you gonna say, Brian?
I was gonna say it's super easy to remember. You can always go to zaidcomics.com, and it's basically just like a portal page for all of the different sites that we have, our social media pages, links to the Etsy store or any of our campaigns that we have running at the moment. And you can just go right from there. So you just have to remember zaidcomics.com.
Yeah. Did you guys watch the trailer at all for the Lost Pages?
No, I haven't seen it again. Like I was backing it regardless, so I just said, "Fuck it,
Cool.
bye."
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, there's.
I want to see it. Yeah, I'd love to see it, but I mean, I'm sure we're not gonna. I could kind of play it in the background here. I don't know if we're gonna get in trouble. I mean, it is your creation.
No, of course you wouldn't get in trouble. No, yeah, people play it all the time on the shows.
All right.
Just,
he's fucking terrified of getting a strike.
No, yeah. So when you share screen and the thing pops up, make sure the little boxes collect where it says share audio also. When you're choosing the window at the bottom of that little
share
box.
audio. Yep, I see it. Done. Bam. Share screen. Lost Pages. Right, it's up on. You guys can see it.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's watch the trailer.
Make sure that volume's up, brother.
The Lost Pages from the minds and hands of Zaid Comics comes the first book in their connected universe of heroes, with a cover by legendary illustrator Simon Bisley. The Lost Pages is a story of a magical book in the hands of a homeless man. Within it are tales lost to time, of heroes from different eras and walks of life, all protecting humanity from evil. As the word of the book is spoken around a trash fire, new crusaders of justice will be revealed to this world. A supernatural vigilante on the hard streets of Chicago named the Silhouette. An ancient sorcerer battling horrific myth on the high seas known as Wild Card. A modern-day mental monster from the mind of a bodybuilder babe, Brimstone. And a pulp hero from the 1930s, a master of disguise donning the mask of the masquerade. This is just the beginning, for in the future these heroes and more will come together to write the end of the world. But for now, the ink of life flows on every page. Will you be there to read it? Only on Indiegogo.
Yep.
Nice. Freaking awesome.
The Silhouette is in Chicago. Good luck with that, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, he's not afraid to kill some mofo's. Yeah, a lot of the we're from Chicago, so Silhouette's in Chicago. Even the Masquerade, who's that pulpy character, he's based in the 1930s in Chicago, so he's fighting mobsters back then. So getting kind of the feel of the city and the architecture and all that into the comic is a really fun thing for us to do.
That's awesome. Smart move putting the trailer together too.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun. That the soundtrack. That track was made by a guy named Vosto Vlad. He actually made our Magic Cop song for us too. So we had him throw together a Lost Pages one. He nailed it. I think it went with the, I tried to use that to design the trailer around the music. So it's a fun little project.
Where do you see you guys going with this? Obviously, Magic Cop was a success, right? This is from what you guys are saying, this happens to be a bigger success so far, right? So are we going to revisit the Magic Cop guys? Are we going to start getting future Indiegogos featuring, maybe bigger books with these specific characters here, like maybe Crimstone or the Silhouette or Masquerade will get their own you get an artist, you write the story, and now you get 60 to 100 pages of just that character. I'm sure it's a lot to take on and a huge pain in the ass to get it going from top to bottom, but
right,
are we going to be able to look forward to more world building as far as we're going to see these characters again? Are the Magic Cop guys done? Where do you see you guys going with this?
So we launched Friday. Then Saturday, Brandon actually started drawing the first page of Magic Cop 2. So we're kind of like keeping up with that. We want to get ahead of the game and have as much done with that when we ship the Lost Pages, so we can go right into Magic Cop 2. So you guys are going to see more of those characters. It's a totally different story. It's going to be lots of fun. And the same with the Lost Pages. Actually, it's funny you bring up, having the single issues with, revolving around those characters. That is what I wanted to do. But I have this whole world, right, that I want people to know about. And rather than take 7 years and put out a book for each character, because there's so many characters, I wanted to find a way to put them all into one, introduce them all, give them each their own time to shine, and then kick off this universe with that. So we're definitely going to come back to these characters. And eventually down the line, maybe after a few books, like in this format, having the readers get to know these characters more, then we could start doing spin-offs of like just the Silhouette, just Wildcard. And we're definitely going to do stories where they meet each other and they fight alongside each other, because that's some of the stuff I'm really excited about for everybody to see.
That's the gift and the curse, right? It's like you come out with something that's successful, and as an artist, you're trying to focus on one thing, and then you got consumers going, all right, well, where's my Magic Cop 2?
Right.
Where's the I don't want to invest in the Silhouette. He looks awesome. I want to make sure that if I'm going to invest in him, I want the next story. Where's the next? It's always where's the next thing? Shut up and take my money. And you're like, yo, can I fucking rest on my laurels for 5 minutes?
It's all about pacing and kind of working in tandem. So I think that's why the reason we're able to do this so well is because Brandon, while we're doing the Lost Pages, promoting it, getting that wrapped up, Brandon could be drawing Magic Cop, because he's the sole artist on Magic Cop, so he could be working on that. And then when hopefully in October we could launch the second Magic Cop, and then while that's going on, we'll be working on the next Lost Pages.
Right.
So
okay.
Working on these 2 titles, maybe some other stuff too. We're only 2 guys, with this company. But there's a lot of stuff we have planned in the future, and a bunch of stories we want to tell for sure.
When you guys, I don't want to say, I don't think leasing out is the right word, but when you have like this new comic that you're doing, right, the Lost Pages, you have different artists. I mean, obviously Brandon's doing one of the stories, but you have all these different artists doing all kinds of different things. It's involving more people. I'm sure it's more of a pain in the ass. It's not all in-house, dealing with different personalities and all that. Is that the natural progression of how a company grows, and that you have to kind of bring on other artists, or maybe even eventually another writer to help because you're too busy doing this? Like, Phil, you might have a passion project that you want to completely focus on, but the fans are wanting more of this other thing. So how do you, are we putting the cart before the horse here? It seems like that's the bigger you guys get and the more people want. Isn't that the natural progression of things? Having to kind of like George Lucas lease out your shit to other people that want to be on board to maybe be the artist on this to get a name for themselves so they can eventually launch their own shit, in the future. You know what I mean?
I think the nice thing about the way that we have the kind of anthology setup. That's the wrong term, but like, let's say that. We have a storyline for the Lost Page that we want to follow, and it has this kind of basic journey that we have to go on, but we can use that supplemental book to highlight certain characters. So like if we see that, the Silhouette and the Masquerade is doing better than Wildcard or something like that, that supplemental book for the Lost Pages 2 might and could have more of those guys in there,
Right.
to satisfy the customer for those things, while, some of the other characters might get a little bit less of a story. And, because we have that journey that we want to get out there, I'm not sure how much the desire of the audience is going to affect, like, let's say, working on a particular character, in the main story. It definitely could influence that supplemental book, and I think that's a really cool way of getting those things out there for the customer.
Yeah. Me and Baz were talking about like how Comicsgate itself kind of has there's only so much the guys can do, right? Creators can do to get their stuff out, right? And it's like you work so hard on this one book. You guys are doing everyone's doing everything in house and kind of on their own or teaming up to get things done. And it's not like you have a big powerhouse the way like a Marvel or DC or Images where you guys can print monthly books and then it becomes a totally full-time job and everything else. But the customer is always wanting more and being able to keep up with it. So the fact that you guys are already saying you're working on Magic Cop 2, or at least in its infancy, gives me hope that why the hell would I buy Magic Cop 1, get invested in these characters, and then not be able to get more of it,
Right.
And it's kind of what are we doing here? We're just like, all right, here's another book that it's going to be a one-off, or unless it's meant to be a one-off. Like here's a story that's 6 issues or 4 issues, and then that's its own thing. Whereas certain characters might call for more ongoing and more serialization, And I want to be able to invest in something I know there's going to be more of.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. I know it's kind of like when you have a series and then it ends and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with my life now? And, like you're saying, the characters sometimes are designed to be a one-off character, and I think if that's the case, you gotta let your audience know that. And when we were first promoting Magic Cop, on shows and stuff, people were asking us, like, is this just a one-off story? You guys plan on doing more? And us setting up Magic Cop to be episodic in the vein of like, an homage to Miami Vice. We let the customers know that, and I think the customers speak out now and show by us shipping and by that huge surge of buyers that we got after we shipped. And now it's over 13,000, and we're almost completely sold out of the first run of the books. I think that they want more, and because we were planning on that, we're going to go ahead and do that. It's the same thing with here. We intend to do more, and I think it's obvious that by the sales, people want to see these characters, and then when we get the reviews after we ship, I think it's.
I'm glad you guys are at least cognizant of that, because I noticed that when I backed Magic Cop when it was first launched, it obviously being your first project, it grew a lot slower than the Lost Pages did. You guys, the Lost Pages blew up pretty quick, in that first week. Now that could also be because, like, as an artist, right? Both of you are artists. You wrestle with the idea that, well, is it because people are more interested in these characters, these new characters, or is it because we've laid the foundation with one book, and now people are excited for this next creative outlet from us? But then it seems like once this launched and once Magic Cop already had it run, and then it went into, like, what is that called when you have your run and then you keep selling afterward?
In demand store.
In demand, right? And then you guys keep selling, and it's like, the snowball is starting to build.
Right.
It may not have built immediately the way you expected, but now that it's building more, and you're like, oh shit, people are getting. It's kind of growing because the name has to get out into the zeitgeist. It has to get out into the public consciousness. It has to settle and marinate a little bit before people, like even me. It took me. I liked Magic Cop from the beginning when you guys were like, oh, it's like the side scroller and all that shit. Like I had me fucking sold on it.
Yeah.
And then I dragged my feet until it went into in demand, and I bought it then. Which is why I wanted to jump on this thing now. With also the fact that I can't keep having you guys in the show and not supporting the shit. That's why I supported it right before the show. I was like, if I'm going to tell people to buy this shit, I got to be buying it myself. So, but I'm glad you guys are at least considering that, because like in the toy world, take Mezco for instance, right? The guys that do like the little 6-inch versions of the Hot Toy kind of cloth clothes, multi-posable figures and shit.
Yeah, sure.
Buys them periodically. When they first came out, they did after the Dark Knight blew up, they did a Dark Knight figure, and then they went and they did a Universal Monsters Frankenstein figure, right? And a lot of people slept on it. They couldn't even give the damn thing away initially. And now people are like, yo, where's Dracula? Where's the Wolfman? We want more. We slept on the Frankenstein because we wanted to see. I'm not just going to buy a Frankenstein just to have a Frankenstein. I want to see the Universal monsters together. And when I had mentioned this to one of the creators a few years ago at one of the cons, they were like, oh, tell that to the people. We can't go to the board and the meetings and say that now. And it's like, well, your company's so much bigger now. So back 5 years ago when the figure came out, maybe people slept on it. But now every figure you've had come out in the last 2 years has sold out every goddamn figure. Maybe it's time to go back and test the waters again with something now that everyone knows what the hell it is you're actually doing, you know? But I'm glad you guys are kind of taking notice of that a little bit earlier and not, necessarily just throwing shit to the wind like, that sold, it sold, but this one's selling better, so we're just going to stick with this. But because now in demand it made a good amount of money, you guys are working on part 2, and that makes me happy. I like the having confidence in your IPs. And
right, and with Magic Cop, the overhead is so low, we could do them, like a $13,000 campaign isn't going to kill us. There's some profit in there, and that's awesome. Something like the Lost Page is a little heavier, so we have to make a little bit more money before we start breaking even and things, but, it's always something that we really want to do. Me as an artist, I love creating, I love doing the character designs and stuff. And, when we saw the slow progression of Magic Cop, we were like, well, maybe people, like you were saying, maybe people aren't into Magic Cop or like the character design. Oh, it's not a superhero story, or this. Or one of the big things we always discussed was there's not a comic book like this. Like imagine having kind of a cop show as a comic book. Like, people aren't used to that. Are they not understanding what they're going to be buying? Stuff like that. But since we've shipped, some people get screwed on their investments and backing projects and stuff like that. Earning the trust of the audience and knowing that we are going to keep going, and seeing like something like the Etsy store and us trying to help out other creators and build something so that we can all succeed better. I think that aside from the comics and the quality of comics that we're putting out, we're as a brand looking like something that is a good investment just in general.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got a lot of backers after we shipped our book, and people were seeing them in the hands of other fans, So I think that really helped us late in the game with Magic Cop, and then crossed over to the Lost Pages.
that's good. I mean, it's like you can't. I mean, what the hell else are you going to ask for as a creator, right? I mean, shit. It's like you kind of sit there and scratch your head and go, I don't know, and then all of a sudden there's a boom on it, and you're like, oh shit, and so that's good. It worked out pretty well. Who in Magic, again, I'm not done with it, so no spoilers here, but whose idea was it when we do the flashbacks that I feel like I'm on an acid trip? I feel like I need 3D fucking glasses. I'm reading and I'm like, yo, like I can't like focus, and I'm reading it at night and I'm laying in bed and I'm like already fucking tired, and
that's actually, that's a great book to read on mushrooms, man. Seriously, that should be a tagline.
Because Phil and I work with computers, do a lot of video editing and graphic design all the time. And so we're looking at monitors all the time. And you kind of expect that from monitors sometimes. You see this error and your eyes are just like, it's just a crappy monitor. But when we did it, we were just messing around with some ideas and stuff. And Phil was like, I think I wanted to do like a low saturation, just to kind of not do black and white, not do sepia tone, because that's played out and it's very niche to a genre that didn't feel right here. And then we were doing something. I think I was working on a project for work, and I was like, oh, we could do this. And Phil's like, what if we did that for the comic book? And then so I showed him how to do it, and we messed around with it, and it looked really cool on the screen. And then when we got it in print, it's just like, what is happening here? Like,
Yeah, exactly. When I first did it, because it happens a few times in the book, right? So the first time it happens, I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know if I like this, because like it's hurting my brain to look at this, right? Then I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the character that's actually, doing the flashback, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, our memories are fuzzy, right? Now my memory of that is a little fuzzy. I got to kind of like think like and bring myself back to that moment, So the memory is fuzzy. The image is kind of fuzzy. You feel like I almost feel the character that's thinking back is thinking hard and trying to make clarity of something that's still kind of a past moment, and trying to grab something. So that's what made me like it, after being like, this is fucking with my eyes, man.
That's cool that it's kind of built in.
It's like a meta thing going on,
That's
So
awesome.
that was. I mean, what happened?
You went deep.
Yeah, no, because I was thinking to myself, like I don't know if because it went on for a few pages, and I went, wait a second, did the print fuck up here? Like, what's going on, And then I was like, oh wait, it goes back to normal again, and then I saw that the flashback had kind of ended, and then I saw in the book it happens again, and I thought to myself, well, maybe what they're trying to do is make me see things the way the character sees things in his head.
I feel like this is like when you go to art class, and the teacher's like, what do they mean by this painting? And they're like, existential stuff. And I always thought, like, there's no way the artist thought this hard. They just wanted to paint this woman or whatever. Like, it's cool lighting. There's no
looks
way.
good. Next.
Then that's what I was mentioning earlier with the Dali painting. I says, is he trying to fucking draw like Salvador Dali here with the because I'm thinking of like the time being kind of warped and then the picture being fuzzy, and I'm like, where are we going with this? Is this like
I heard some story where somebody dropped a pair of glasses like in a like a gallery, like on the floor, and then people started taking pictures of it as if it was like a work of art. Yeah, and just somebody dropped the glasses.
100 years from now, they will be like, look at how much depth there is in the art put into these pages.
Hey, listen, sometimes there's fucking happy accidents. If you got at least one guy like me out there thinking it, somebody else might have thought it, and then it just brings you into the story. It gives you another reason to like something, Yeah, whether it was intentional or not, that's the way it came across, and I think it makes it cooler. It makes for a cooler fucking story. So, whatever, man.
Froggle Funding says, I want pinups of Brandon and Phil. Stretch goal?
Oh, Christ.
But they have to say Tiger Beat above the picture.
Yes.
We're going to have to do
Oh, my God. Well, we figured out what's coming next. I get, I can't wait for this to launch. You said it was 8 months for the first Magic Cop. The Lost Pages, we're looking at realistically what?
So
we got a month, right? And then on demand, what are we talking about as far? What's the timeline on this?
we are scheduled. Yeah, we're scheduled to be shipping out in October. So that's
cool.
that's hopefully we're trying to get it out a month before that, but that's when our cutoff is for October. So we're constantly working on stuff. Like as we're talking here, I'm getting sent images of the interior cover of Crimstone's story from my girl Maria. She's sending me little layouts for that, and it's looking awesome. So really excited.
So it's like a fall. It almost seems like it's a fall spring thing. That's pretty good. You could look forward to Zaid Comics coming through. At this point already, twice a year, 2 different stories, world building, and who knows? Maybe we can crank this shit up to every once a quarter. You know what I'm saying? Fall, winter, or spring. You get a nice new beefy. And don't. I mentioned this. Were you on the last time? I mentioned this to somebody. I forgot who was. I think I was talking to Dan Fraggle, where I was asking him about his book, and I said, I want to feel like I'm getting something. When I bought Magic Cop, I got 100 pages or so, right? 100 something pages, and it felt like a full story. It didn't feel like something I could just knock out and go, I fucking read that. It took like no time to read it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of even if it was good, it's kind of like one and done, and it's like, all right, I feel like having that you guys put so much story and love into those pages. And even with the lost pages, you're looking at 60 pages, but then you have that add-on book, which gives you more content.
Right.
So the customer feels like they're getting something, not just here's 2 issues,
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool, especially when Comicsgate guys go, oh, it's a stretch goal. We'll add, like Billy Tucci's thing just launched with the Miss Fury.
Yeah.
That I think looks fucking terrific. I think that
awesome.
it looks really good, and one of their I think first stretch goals is going to be like an extra 10 pages, so that's nice. It gives you, I feel like I'm getting more with my investment,
Yeah, no,
Well, you guys know Bill, right? So like World War II is his fucking shit. That's his passion. So anything that involves World War II and Billy Tucci, man, that's That's
I wish guys can crank out more shit more often. Like I already, got into it with you guys about getting more Magic Cop stuff. But with Billy, he had this thing that he was advertising during his campaign for the Zombie Samba thing. And I know he's working on Zombie Samba 2, but he had this thing called Company Z, which I thought was a pretty fucking cool idea. A bunch of World War II reenactors getting stuck during a zombie apocalypse, and getting caught somewhere and having to kind of having semi-skills training to be actors, but then really having to put those to practical world use. And here we are now. He's doing he's in the process of doing Miss Fury. He's talking Zombie Samba 2, but shit, where the fuck is Company Z? Before you know it, it's like, I want to see more and more. Again, here's me as the customer going, damn it, take my money. And those are good first world problems to have.
In the beginning of the year, we had laid out kind of our 2020 journey, our plan for what we were going to do. We were going to go all these conventions and stuff, and we really wanted to do 2 Magic Cops a year and 2 other projects a year, and one of them being the Lost Pages, and then maybe another Lost Pages somewhere like in the winter, like November, December. But because of the catastrophes and stuff like that, that kind of got screwed up.
Right.
But we're going to really start getting this ball rolling and pulling up momentum, and hopefully we could get to maybe 3 projects a year, and then eventually up to the 4th project.
Has it ever crossed your mind? This might not be a good idea, but just to throw it out there, let's say you guys are working on Magic Cop, right, 2, but people really are digging the Lost Pages, right? And now you're like, what could we do? Maybe as a stretch goal or something, releasing another small supplement, short stories that are having with the Lost Pages guys while we're reading Magic Cop 2, and then when the Lost Pages books drop, maybe have a supplement to Magic Cops, like a smaller story, so that it's always on the mind of whoever's buying. It's like I might do that. I might say, "Fuck it, I want the Lost Pages." Like I just did it, but I'm feeding for more Magic Cop, so maybe I can get a little bit of Magic Cop with the full Lost Pages, and vice versa.
There's another set of story, let's say, in the Magic Cop universe that hasn't been released yet, and that could be a good way of doing these little interim comics. So maybe instead of $25, it'll be like a $10 buy-in, and it'll be quicker release while we're working on Magic Cop, or before Lost Pages comes out. And it's a good idea. I think that's something that we could probably look into. Maybe after Magic Cop 2, before Lost Pages 2.
Look, man, this is just something to kind of throw around, because I think it's, I'm noticing that, I have to go live weekly, right? I don't have to, but I like to, in order to keep the Red Cup on people's minds, because then 2-3 weeks go by and fuck it, we're watching another show,
Yeah.
So in order to constantly, isn't that how branding works? You got to beat people over the head with the advertising stick until it sticks,
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I go into streams at 2 in the morning, and then all of a sudden I see Zaid Comics pop up. I can't find a stream where this motherfucker isn't on. So
I don't sleep.
He's always promoting. Always.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I live
good.
by the ABPs of life. Always be promoting.
Do you guys?
Who said that, Jesus? Jesus said that, right?
Do you guys buy, follow, subscribe to anything DC, Marvel, Image, any comics you guys follow outside of Comicsgate?
Not anymore, since the comic book shops aren't open, and I mean, I don't even know if ours is back open, but I was like last year going and picking up stuff. I was picking up like Teen Titans because Lobo's daughter's in there. Justice League Dark for a little bit, but that kind of sucked after a while. But it just got to a point where like everything I wasn't interested in stuff. They weren't like pulling me in.
Right.
I got Doomsday Clock, the Watchmen Jeff Johns thing, but no,
that wasn't even that good, man. That wasn't even that good. It was all right.
There were moments and stuff. I don't think I read the last few or so, but I really liked the marionette and the mime characters. Those guys were really cool. Yeah, those were awesome. I
think it was too long. The story didn't even need to be that long.
Well, also they were delayed by months. Like it was supposed to come out, like everything was supposed to be done like 2 years ago, but they kept delaying it. So no, like if I go pick something up, it's something that's like from the 90s, like The Mask. I was really into, of course, The Mask. So I got those big 2 trades, omnibuses, or just like old comics and old trades and stuff to kind of like research for stuff that I'm doing that I think would be helpful,
Yeah, I mentioned that because hold on, Brandon's got something on his mind.
I was going to say, you guys are statue guys, and I just got as a gift that Tweeterhead classic Catwoman, the purple suit.
Oh, really?
Nice fucking statue, right?
100 pounds. It's crazy.
That's exaggerated.
I love Catwoman.
That's a really nice. Tweeterhead does such great. Their superpowers line is just so classy and elegant. They're my favorite statue company right now because there are other statues that like look awesome with a crazy amount of detail, and it's like it's like just shitting coolness into your eyes by seeing how awesome it is. But the other the Tweeterhead stuff is just nice. It's just a nice size. Yeah. It's 12 inches to 15 or something like that, 6 scale, and it's just classic representation of the character, and clean lines on it. The colors are nice and bright. It's great.
Yeah.
How much? Yeah. You know how much the price was on that?
I don't know. Like it was 2. So I'm not sure.
They're not cheap. I mean, it's cheap for statues, considering some people spend thousands of dollars on statues. Just fucking nuts.
And it's, like even the base is a work of art on its own. It's bag of.
She's on the lion head, right? Isn't it like a lion head or something?
Yeah, it's like the corner of a building, and then it has the lion head coming off of it, and there's a wanted poster of her, and then the bag of jewels, and then on the back of it, it even has like the top half of a ladder that you would have used to climb to get up there.
Yeah, that's really
nice.
Cool.
That's freaking awesome, man. The reason why I brought up the comic book thing is because DC just announced today that they're not going to be with Diamond anymore. They're going to be distributed through Penguin House or something like that.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. It's huge news.
I know. I was talking to George before this, Baz, when I was like, "Yo, like, what's going on?" Because I'm trying to order the Tweeterhead Green Lantern statue through him, and he was like, "Yo, man, I'm dealing with trying to figure out where the fuck I'm going to get my DC stuff now, and trying to set up." Because now he has to become a distributor through them. Like they distribute to him, and he's a comic shop owner. And I think it's good. I got to be honest. I think that I heard that Diamond had a monopoly for 25 years on distribution, and nothing like competition brings out the best. You know what I'm saying? So I like that that they're kind of breaking away. I'm wondering if I'm hoping that comic shops don't go I'm just going to mess with Marvel now, and then you'll have like Marvel only shops and DC only shops, and it'll be like Coke and Pepsi, where like you go to Wendy's, you can't get a goddamn Pepsi because all they sell is Coke, But
I'm surprised that Disney doesn't open Marvel stores like Disney stores, So it would just be like their, how they have their Disney streaming service. It would just be a Marvel store, sell Marvel merch, sell comics. What's up?
Have you been in a Disney store?
What do you mean?
It's
all Marvel
stuff?
One
side is Disney and the other side is Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, it's Marvel and Star Wars.
But do they sell comics?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you could just do a Marvel store, but I'm surprised they don't do that in malls and stuff.
Well, I think competition is good. At first, I was kind of like, oh my God, how's that going to affect the industry? Because I've seen a lot of people like giving it thumbs down and saying that that's whack and why would they do that? And I'm like, well, why the fuck would you want to be on the side of cheering for a monopoly? I mean, I guess it's convenient for the guy putting the order in. You know, that's nice. I'm sure it's a pain in the ass having to get new connections at a whole new distribution channel. And I'm wondering if it's going to be just for comics only or if it's going to be for merchandise too. That would be kind of weird, right? Because Penguin Publishing or whatever that's a publishing house for print. Are they going to be carrying statues and mugs and all kinds of other shit, So I'm waiting to hear back from him, but I know that was big news this week.
That's really interesting.
Speaking of news, share the screen, my friend. This is why I'm really thinking about doing CG only. Yes.
Stop! Why'd you have to do this? Put this shit on my fucking page.
This is why we have Comicsgate, fellas.
Yeah.
Because of shit like this.
Image
Comics founder Eric Larson defends Antifa. And of course, the president will be designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. And we had a few comic book pros over the past week putting up the Antifa sign, including Frank Cho, whom it breaks my heart because he draws the hottest chicks. Look, Antifa. This is Eric Larson. Antifa means anti-fascist, and it's not an actual organization, but an ideology. So that's they're now pretending it doesn't exist now, but it does exist.
Like, because Comicsgate is like that, but
Eric Larson says Comicsgate is a hate group.
It's a hate group,
and I mean it's an ideology. I don't think an ideology could be a group by his standards.
I mean, is it possible that Comicsgate has dickheads in it, and so does Antifa, and we just need to recognize that people are fucked up and stupid?
Yeah, I know a lot of them too.
I mean, oh God, whatever.
Yeah.
From the story I had heard from Dan about his interaction with Eric being like, I can't follow you down that path, and it's a guy that's going to turn his back on someone he's been friends with for 25, 30 years at this point. I was telling Baz, I was at talking to Billy at New York Comic Con, and I saw that Eric Larson, who was like my favorite, well, at the time when I was a kid, my favorite Spider-Man artist. And I was like, oh my God, look, Eric Larson's right there. And then some in the back of my mind, because this was still kind of not the Antifa stuff, but it was the Comicsgate was starting to kind of enter into my consciousness through Baz. Yeah. And I was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go. And sometimes you shouldn't meet your heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just remember him on his way in Spider-Man and keep it at that, Especially when you got artists coming out saying, or writers, if you believe this, don't buy my shit. And it's like, well, I don't believe in any one thing as being the only thing. I don't define myself by my beliefs because they're constantly changing with new information that comes in. But I mean, shit, bro. I don't know. It's
and then we'll argue like, listen, can't comics just be neutral? Like, we don't want them to be partisan politically. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, oh well, comics have always been political, but that's not really true. They weren't like talking points for the Democratic Party. They had subtlety to them. They showed, a lot of them showed both sides of the issues. Punching Hitler isn't really divisive. We all agree Hitler was a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I was watching some old episodes of The Simpsons, and The Simpsons always make fun of everybody, and then lately they've chosen sides, or whatever. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. But it's just so funny when you're just making fun of everybody, because
South Park too.
Comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The more I hear about this Hitler guy, the less I like him.
What's
all
this?
Right, so we have this chick, Batgirl artist Babs Tarr, accused of racism and blackface for drawing a self-portrait with tan skin. So she has tan skin, and there's.
I don't understand it. That doesn't even look black. It looks like.
Well, if
it did look black, who cares?
Babs is very, very white. She's very pale. I met her a bunch of times.
This is her in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really nice, sweet lady. She's cool. But this is crazy because like she's very Like all the progressive libs love Babs's art. She redesigned Batgirl for, I think it was a little bit after New 52. She gave her like that more biker jacket outfit.
Yeah, the motorcycle look that she has. She's
Motorcycle
rocking,
look, yeah. So all of the progressive people love her, and it is hilarious to see that these people always, turn on everybody. They'll cannibalize their own kind.
I mean, it's not it's not like she took a photo of herself and photoshopped it, right? Like it's a cartoon. Like it doesn't
I don't
even
think
look
that
like
people understand what blackface really is and how horrible it is. And by deeming everything that even remotely kind of resembles it, you're taking away, like, that's something that should be taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between 1920s blackface and drawing a character with tan skin at this point, or a caricature of yourself or something. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I also may be speaking out of turn here, but it seems to me, and I follow Bounding into comics too, it seems that there's a lot of clickbait articles that are focusing too much on Twitter outrage mob nonsense, that it's like one person has a hot take on Twitter that gains a little bit of traction, and now we got to give credence to it by reporting about it like it's actual fucking news. You got to ignore these people. Like,
no, because a lot of those media outlets want to promote that kind of shit. They want to promote that way of thinking. And basically she got dragged, and she apologized, and she attacked the people who were trying to defend her. It says here she concluded also to all the Comicsgate fucks who are harassing or attacking people under the guise of supporting me, I am not for you or about you, fuck off. So there you go, guys.
Poor Babs. Man, before we came out with Magic Cop, we did that 12-page pilot issue that you guys got in the Ashcan. And that was done before we started on the main book. And I actually went to C2E2, and I went up to Babs and I showed her that Magic Cop, pages from the pilot issue. And she's like, "Oh, this is really cool. It reminds me of like Adult Swim cartoons and stuff like that." And she's like, "Yeah, let me know what's going on with this." And so then later on when we were launching, I messaged her about it, and she never got back to me. But I also, probably 6 months before that, I was in LA for this Mortal Kombat, the video game release party. It was like a preview. They invited a bunch of people.
Nice.
So we went over there, and Babs was there because one of her friends is a big Mortal Kombat cosplayer. And that was the first time I met her. And she gave me like her sketchbook thing, and she signed it for me. And I was telling her I was doing this comic, Magic Cop, and she's like, "Oh, that's cool. Let me know. Maybe I'll do a cover for you guys." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So, but I'm sure she saw that I was part of Comicsgate and didn't want to do anything with me. But it's unfortunate.
This is absolute ridiculousness, dude.
This is what you get. You can never please these people, even if you are rooting for them. So she's, supportive of everybody that's really woke and stuff, and those people are her fans, and they turn on her for an asinine reason that is they just made up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was seeing that this happened this week too with not Jimmy Kimmel. Who's the other guy that was on Saturday Night Live?
Fallon?
The goofball, was like the Fallon, right? They were like, he had to apologize for going on blackface in 2000 because he dressed up like his friend Chris Rock in a sketch, and no one gave a shit then, and it was fine. And he wasn't doing blackface in the sketch; he was doing Chris Rock in the sketch, and it's And then I recently seen like, look at this, and it was a picture of when DX Baz dressed up like the Nation of Domination and did the skit where Triple H was pretending to be The Rock, but they were all. They put blackface on basically, but they were in front of the nation. It's like, you're not making fun of black people here. You're doing something with your friend. These guys are all friends behind the scene. It's just ridiculous. I don't know, man. I think it's taken to a whole nother level. But you know what? Whatever. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I need to try to understand them a little bit more. But every time I try to understand,
shut the fuck up. Anyway,
You could say that.
All right.
That's fun, but that's real ignorant to say that too. Because when someone's upset, you want to kind of when you try to put yourself in their position, don't just say no. When you try
not when they're ridiculous, bro. They're fucking ridiculous.
When you try to put yourself in their position, okay, and then realize how ridiculous they are, okay, that's what makes you turn around and go, I can't do this. I can't play your game. I'm not even trying to play a game here. You know, I try to put myself in their shoes and then go, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, now that I get my thought out, go ahead.
All right. Anyway, next up, we got share the screen. Don't capitulate to terrorists. We got Law and Order creator Dick Wolf appears to fire writer over social media post about defending his fucking home. Okay, so it says,
Wolf.
This is Dick Wolf's statement regarding Craig Gore. So it's Craig Gore is the guy who put up a post about defending his home. I will not tolerate this conduct, especially during our hour of national grief. I am terminating Craig Gore immediately. So hold on. I want to put up the actual tweet. It's a picture of him.
Why do they keep showing pictures of Christopher Maloney?
Because he's the star, you know. People draw it, you know. All right, here's the fucking. That's him in front of his home with a
rifle.
Yeah, and he's like basically saying, you know, I'm going to defend my thing.
Well, good.
Okay, so
he got fired because did he make it? Was the tweet like racist or what? Was there like?
He just said that he would defend himself against looters. That's all.
And that's it. Like now you're fired.
Yeah.
Want to defend yourself? You're fired.
Yeah. And this is a show about law and order. Like,
yeah, it's all bullshit. Posturing
all
on these fucking shows. Behind the scenes, it's all just, if you ain't down with the narrative, then you're fucking out, Osborne. That's what it comes down to. You know?
Yep.
So now you're a villain if you actually say you're going to defend your home from people who are trying to do you harm. Okay, this is it. Craig Gore, curfew. That's it. He's defending his house.
Can we even prove that that's him?
No, he put it up.
Ascon.
He wrote, Sunset is being looted 2 blocks from me. So 2 blocks away, you got crazy looters lighting shit up. Then he goes, you think I won't light motherfuckers up who are trying to fuck with my property I've worked all my life for? Think again. Okay. Oh, he's a man. He's an actual man. Wow.
You can't be a man anymore. You didn't know that?
You can't. No.
I don't know, B.
I don't.
I'll tell you that I think that this is just there's a lot of ignorance on all sides and a lot of bullshit and posturing and trying to just placate to crowds. Like there's a lot of companies that are putting out these statements that basically if this was They Live, right? And we saw like all these statements from these companies, but like we all put our glasses on, we would see is please don't loot me. Please leave our stores alone. Like that's all I'm seeing is put on the fucking glasses and see what they're actually trying to say. Because every time this happens, it's let's put out a statement, but never really do anything about it. This
is the scenario that I see. Okay, basically we've had a pandemic. We've been told to quarantine, right? All these businesses were almost going out of business anyway because of the pandemic. Yeah. Now we have rioting and looting, and people are actually destroying these businesses physically. Most of them are small businesses, and they're not coming back. So now we have more people out of work, more people desperate. You have desperate people. Now, once all the businesses are looted, what's the next natural place to go? Residential areas.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not too hard to figure it out. So if you don't think ahead, and if you don't have the wisdom to realize that like soon breaking and entering is going to be a huge fucking spike in that, then you're going to be sheep.
Well, let's hope that it doesn't
easy prey.
You know, let's
hope it doesn't. But I didn't think what happened recently was going to happen.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see that. I see what you're saying.
So
over here, like where our office is, not too far from here, they're just going through people's garages and stuff. It's crazy. They're just
there you go.
Destroying the area and just moving further and further and further. because it's already destroyed. They got to go to destroy more.
The next spot. Yeah, man. Jeez. Well, can we fucking not end the show on such a wah wah wah?
Well, no. Like I wanted to show that in the news, just to because we've been promoting Comicsgate for a while now. I just want to show our viewers this is why. Okay, this is why we're pro Comicsgate. This is the avenue to go to if you want to read comics without all the bullshit, all the political rhetoric that they force you to fucking read. You know what I mean? So this is why.
See, I gotta try to remind myself not to give a shit what the let's say Phil, whatever. I'm gonna use you an example. You're right here. You're in the conversation. Let's say Phil had a certain belief about something, right? It could be anything. You could be an atheist. You could be a devout Catholic or a Muslim or whatever, and he doesn't try to ramrod that into his storytelling. I could separate Phil the person from Phil the writer and just enjoy his stories. It's when certain people try to project so much into their work, which is a hard thing to do because how could you not? It's coming from you, or even if it's just sprinkled in there, that's fine. But as opposed to using your platform to just be using your avenue as a platform to speak whatever you find to be your personal truth, that's where it kind of gets a little, fuzzy. If you're not out there doing criminality or real horrible shit, and I can't be like, I'm not giving Phil my money because he's a horrible person, or Baz or whoever, as long as you're not interjecting that totally, then it's when you start mixing and I can't separate the person from the art anymore, and it's
for sure,
too much noise.
I agree.
Well, look how Alan Moore wrote The Watchmen. He presented all these different sides, these different characters, and actually, Alan Moore's an anarchist, and who looked the coolest out of all of them was the hard right character, Rorschach. So there's a subtle way to do it. You present all sides. You let the reader pick who's the good guys and the bad guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or what ideology is dominant or should be promoted. I mean, so that's it. That's all I got to say. News. Are we going to look at some toys or statues?
Oh, and I got a little bit left. We could look at a couple of things very quickly. I'm going to screen share this real quick. I'm sure you guys have seen it now. It's Iron Studios. This just dropped, I believe, today or yesterday. Yeah, these are the 3 new releases this week from them. Again, 170. That's just absolutely ridiculous for the size of this thing. This is intense scale, so they're small.
Iron Studios prices are great.
But Iron Studios last year's releases were 120. Now we're at 170. I don't know. It's getting a little dicey, especially for only an 8-inch statue. But I got to give it to them though. The amount of detail, I've never seen detail like this in a small statue. This is absolutely incredible as far as I'm concerned. I'm glad they're continuing with their X-Men line. It's like they have that X-Men Sentinel thing that they had going on, and it got such a great applause. They were like, screw it, we'll just do more and more characters for that.
So I have.
Does that look like Joe Mads?
Yeah, kind of. So I have the Iron Studios Lobo, and Brandon has the Iron Studios purple suit Catwoman, and those statues are great. But it's they're really upgrading their stuff because the 2 statues that we have just come with octagonal bases, and now these ones, they're upping them and giving them full art bases, which is great.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I remember seeing the octagonal bases. Yes, black. Those are the ones like the Green Lantern and the it's black bases exactly. Yeah. These are more diorama based. All right, so then I eat my words. I need to shut the fuck up.
and they're a fairly new company back then. I think the Lobo was probably one of their Generation 1 line, and that was maybe 3 years ago. So they're coming into their own. Wow, this is cool.
This pyro's so cool.
Yeah. And you don't see a lot of pyro. You don't see any pyro statues.
No, not at all. That's cool if they're adding on to the 3rd tier villains to kind of complement. This is one of Magneto's boys, bro. Part of the Brotherhood and shit.
I think that's one of the most important things you could do for merchandise are hit those 3rd tier or 2nd tier characters, because those are a lot of times your hardcore fans. You're always going to get the Joker or whatever, stuff like that. There's a million pieces of them, but sometimes these characters are the real important ones to get. I know a guy who would absolutely love a pyro statue.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, and the other release that they had that goes along with another diorama that they're doing, another Sentinel diorama is this Colossus.
Yeah, everybody's doing the big Sentinel diorama.
Much bigger.
Ever since I think XM was the first one to kind of announce they were doing one, and now Iron Studios is doing one, right?
His paint job is so cool.
Wow, yeah, that must
not like too much period.
That's like one of the best Colossus paint jobs I've ever seen.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, it's like I like the fact that they didn't go like chrome.
Yeah,
it's like metallic without because he's supposed to be steel, right?
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be chrome. You see, sometimes he's chromed out. He's organic steel. He's not chrome, so this works really well.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Wow.
For some reason, it's not
Colossus.
letting me. There we go.
too,
It's not letting me close in on it, but yeah, Colossus is such a great character. And I'm glad they went with his classic look too, because he's had a lot of different looks over the years. That this is like my favorite look for him. The old school.
That's the best.
Yeah, he looks great, man.
Dave Cockrum, old school.
Yeah, man. How tall is this one? This one's a little bit bigger. This one is 11.8 inches in height as opposed to 8 inches. So they made him pretty big. He's beefy.
Yeah.
He's a beefy. Nice.
Good expression too.
Well, Colossus is gay in the Ultimate Universe, Rob. So you have a shot.
No.
I did order this. This is one that I ordered. My first Iron Studios is going to be this statue here. I ordered this a couple of weeks ago.
Cool.
Again, I'm a sucker for anything Batman and Robin related. So, and it's obviously like the classic stuff. So,
Cool.
Blue Batman and Robin, old school. I'm all about it.
Yeah,
the blue Batman is probably my favorite Batman.
Yeah, it's good.
So that'll be my first one that comes out hopefully in the fall. Or who the hell knows?
That Mr. Freeze looks cool. Let's see that one.
Was that a pun? Was that a freeze pun?
Mr. Freeze looks cool.
Mr. Freeze looks cool. Very ice.
Ice to meet you.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like how the ice itself is like opaque at the bottom, and then it gets like clearer, like the higher up it goes.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty cool touch. And he's got like the paint around his boots as if he's walking through the ice and the snow.
Frost,
so it's like you get like the white spots and stuff. That's pretty cool. And the frost on exactly on the front of his gun there. That's pretty dope.
Hey, look, this one's still 120.
Yeah, exactly. This is more the that's what I was saying. Like there was a release very recently, and this is kind of a nice little diorama base.
Yeah,
I mean the size on him is a little bit smaller. This one's 6.2 inches. I mean, look, this is 6.2 inches. The Colossus is almost 12 inches tall, so it's almost double the size. So yeah, the Colossus is going to be just shy, a couple of inches shy of that Catwoman tweeter head that you got, Brandon. So it's going to be pretty big.
Yeah,
this will be like the size of an iPhone, I guess. But bigger. It's like maybe a little bit bigger, and obviously wider and stuff. So
it's huge.
Yeah, I don't know how big that.
I know they're big, and they're still considered small statues. These guys are like in the Phil. You went to you just recently hooked up with DCX, right? The Darth Castle. That guy Thor runs Darth Castle.
Yes.
That's DCX, right? The open mic. Their statues are like 33 inches, third
custom
scale.
stuff?
So everything is custom on their page, pretty much. I mean, they do all kinds of shit, but they're into the custom statue market too.
Yeah, the Catwoman is 16 inches total.
Yeah, that's big, man. To me, it's big. I think it's pretty big. I mean, it's not as big as like the premium formats from Sideshow, but these guys look at the premium formats that are like 23 inches, and they're like, those are small. And I'm like, you guys are out of your mind. It's just a massive sheer size of stuff. It's just, you guys must just live in fucking castles. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this screen share, and we're gonna pop over real quick before we end this up again. Fuck screen share.
What the hell happened to pickups of the week, man? I got like 4 new things.
Oh, you're the fucking worst, bro. Well, because we spent an hour and a half on fucking Magic Cop. Whatever, it was worth it.
I got none.
All right, here's a new art print.
Oh, cool.
Here's the new art print from Sideshow. It's pretty nice. Again, I eat up
drew that?
anything Wonder Woman.
Who's the artist?
This is good question. Why am I thinking I was going to say Terry Dodson. There you go, Terry and Rachel Dodson.
Huh.
Nice.
You know, she's created variant color Justice League 28 and 2018, and this is, I guess, their take on that. That's pretty nice.
That's a nice Wonder Woman. Like, she has a nice size to her.
I like a thicker Wonder Woman, man. I don't know. A lot of times the people that don't like the thicker Wonder Woman think she comes across as too mannish. I know, Brandon, I know you're a big Wonder Woman fan. All you do is share Gal Gadot stuff on Twitter. So
I'm a big Gal Gadot fan.
Yeah, it's true.
there you go. I'm a Gal Gadot fan. I like Wonder Woman, and I like when they draw her in a way that, like, you could tell that she could take a punch, and if she punches someone, she's going to be doing some damage. So I'm down with it.
Just Amazonian. It's got to look like
an Amazon, exactly. You know. So new hot toy release this week is the Spider-Man armor. The Iron Man, Spider-Man. It's hot toys milking the cow again. Looks pretty cool. Would pop like a son of a bitch off your shelf. But
That's bright.
this is going to be it's nice, but it looks nice here. But when you have it, you put it in this pose, and then you try to change it into something like that, you're going to get a lot of stretch lines in, like, where the knees are, and you know, this is going to be an articulation nightmare. I like to call it. But if you can get a pose that you really like, I mean, like that would look dynamite, you know.
Yeah.
But and it has like this glow effect too. Like, you see how, like, there's like dots and shit on them, like they're showing you like this, like, half dots.
Yep.
This diorama, like, when you shine the light on him, he gets like all these dots and shit.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. I know some people will go and ape shit over. They're like, "Oh, where's our classic Spider-Man? This is close. You know, this. If you could do this, give us the classic."
Yeah, he's got like that John Romita Jr. kind of look.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's pretty.
I dig it. I mean, John Romita, not Junior. Fuck Junior. I mean, Junior's okay, but you know, the classic.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But he has like the green kind of like outline on the spider, right? So that's
yeah, that's like that gives it like that Iron Man-y type. It's still like it's not a cloth suit. I got in trouble this week. I had a comment removed on the Sideshow page. Let your show.
Oh, you're dangerous.
Yeah, I'm living on the edge, fellas. It was about this statue, actually. So they put this statue up, and it almost made me leave the group because I was like, nah, you know what? I got to kind of be an adult and just get over shit and not worry about, like, oh, they took my post down, man. I'm leaving the group. This is a really nice statue. I don't like the character. This is a really nice statue.
You don't like Cosmic Karen?
So
Cosmic Karen, bro.
Speaking of Cosmic Karen,
your manager.
They put up this statue, and they had said, you know, the new, because this goes along with their Avengers Assemble line, right?
Yeah.
And I have the Hulk from that line. That was the last thing I reviewed for Sideshow, and this came out. It's like it's like an add-on kind of, you know. And I wrote, "Oh, Karen never looked so good." Because I thought the statue looked great. So I wrote, Karen never looked so good, and I got a strike, and I got the comment removed, and I got a thing written to me saying that we only promote you know, happiness on this page.
Oh my god.
You gotta be inclusive to people's feelings and shit. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
Yeah, that's a derogatory.
Karen never looked, because the statue looks great. I wasn't making fun of the statue. But let's face it, she's Cosmic Karen.
Isn't it? It's Karen Danvers, right? Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you know, apparently now they're going to turn the word Karen into the soccer mom version of the N-word, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Even men can be Karens, for Christ's sake.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
But
I think they're called Craigs. They're Craigs.
We used to just call them rats back in the day, but whatever.
You dirty rat.
So I got a strike from Sideshow. So I gotta watch my P's and Q's on that page now. Whatever, man. It's just absolutely ridiculous. One thing, and that's when I put up that post on the Red Cup Facebook page this week, where I said we're a great community here. I don't do the Kumbaya posts a whole lot. I do them very, very rarely. But I know what's going on in the world sucks, and I was like, you know, we don't have any rules in this group. Like, because Red Cup doesn't have rules. The only rule is don't be a douche. You come into the group, you know, treat it like it's your house. You don't take a shit on your floor. You're not going to take a shit on the page, and that's it. You know, but we don't even say that. It's just expected of the people that come on the page. And we've never had an incident. Now the page is really small. It's only like 250 people are on the page, on the Facebook group. But I don't like that whole everything's got to be kumbaya all the time. Like, yay, we're like the super friends of happiness, and we can't do anything, and peace, love, and harmony all the time. It's like, look, that's not reality. Stop trying to make that a reality. That's not reality at all. So I'm glad we don't do that on our page, but at the same time, I think it's kind of absent. Here's the helmeted energy mohawk variant thing that it comes with, the switch out portrait rather. But any group that preaches that, or any live show that preaches love and happiness all the time, is just, I don't know. I'm noticing that more people gravitate towards that, and I don't know if it's because people in the collector world, or just people in the world, like to be spoon-fed happiness constantly. I don't know what it is, but we don't even do that on our page. We just don't promote douchebags. It's like, yo, if you're gonna act like a dick, the door's over there, you know.
Yep.
But the fact that we have to say that and enforce it makes me feel I don't know. I feel like dirty. I feel like the enforcement of happiness and goodness makes me feel disgusting inside. Like it's a shield of shit. Like we're gonna put up this faux shield of singing Kumbaya and holding hands, and then meanwhile behind the scenes, we're all just like, you know, those people that do that come across as like grimy. Like, what do you have to hide? You know, there's
I'm picturing Ace Ventura in Ace Ventura Pet Detective, where he's in the shower. He's like crying. Saying, yeah, that's you?
Saying. That's me. Every time I watch one of these streams where it's like, hey, guys, this is great. It's like, oh, I got to wash myself of this. Like you're, I don't know, man. It's a small world after all. And I'm just like, I can't, man. It's just, it drives me fucking crazy. But
they would have to like Clockwork Orange my fucking ass for me to adopt that kind of shit.
Exactly.
Like I'd have to be strapped in the chair with my eyes friggin' open, watching like the Brady Bunch or something on a loop. I don't know.
And the whole cosmic, the Karen never looked so good wasn't like trying to demean any specific one. It's obviously a joke. People are gonna get the joke, but you can't joke about that no more. Obviously, we can't joke about anything. The PC culture has completely ruined comedy, and I don't know. I think it's just
they're trying to ruin everything, dude.
Yeah, it's just overkill. So it really is.
That's why we got Comicsgate, people.
Yes, back the lost pages, everybody.
Yeah, so anyways, we're going to sign off with that. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, everybody, okay? Just be good for goodness sake and go buy the lost pages.
Real quick, picked up Raiden.
Oh, shit, no, pickups of the week. Hold on, here you go. I just removed my thing. I added them. Hold on.
We picked up something. Dark Raiden from McFarlane Action Figures.
Nice. Is it good?
Awesome job. Awesome. 22 points of articulation.
Wow.
That's all you need.
That's cool.
And you got the, I think this is the Walmart exclusive, Black Widow. She has
it's a cool costume,
right? She's got like that kind of like Bruce Timm kind of like femme fatale kind of like face sculpt.
Oh yeah,
I like it, man.
So that's a Walmart exclusive. You can get that on Walmart.com. Then we got a albino white Vin Diesel,
nice, cool.
which is Bloodshot. It's a pretty cool action movie. And I got the Wonder Woman in the gold outfit with the wings and shit. She's over there somewhere. I don't feel like getting her. Fuck her. But yeah, so those are my pickups. Oh, but I brought this guy out from storage. My giant pit. So,
dude, you can get a fortune for that thing, man. Holy shit.
Know, right? Look at this fucker. I could kill a looter with this.
I sold my pit, I think, like 5 years ago for like $225 or some shit.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's like a dope Build-A-Figure, man.
So Phil, who would win in a fight, Pitt or Crimstone?
Crimstone, for sure.
That's it. Crimstone wins every time. Come on, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Yo, I'm digging these McFarlane figures, man. They're pretty damn good.
You hated on them for a while, man. You hated the first wave.
I know. I'm a flip-flopper.
Yeah. You went like 5 weeks without a pickup of the week and then just went ape shit, huh?
Insane. That's what happens when you hold in shit for too much and you just fucking explode. I exploded all over Target.
My pickup of the week was The Lost Pages. I only got to wait.
Yes.
I got to wait like 5 or 6 months to actually get it, but that was my pickup of the week.
That was slick.
It was worth
I like that.
I'm investing in
That's
my
everybody.
future. You understand?
Yeah. Get the book.
So,
Also,
That
what you call it? Our boy Fragaboom. I picked up his awesome book.
Oh, good. Yeah. Black Flag.
nice, yeah.
Go get
Yeah,
Black
Black Flag.
Flag.
Go
Go
weeks
get the
ago
Lost
on the
Pages.
show.
Yeah.
Good shit, man. Nothing but good shit going forward. So,
Excited.
also, what's his face? I think announced his book coming out soon, September 1st. Joe King, Part 2. I keep forgetting the guy's name.
George Peter Gatz's.
There you go. Yep, there we go. He's a funny dude, man. That book is real fucking meta and crazy.
Yep.
Nothing else, man. I gotta wait for shit to start fucking shipping again. So, anyways, if anybody watching right now has a lead on a Joker, Mezco Clown Prince of Crime, you guys know where to find me on. Personally, hit me up because I'm looking for a good deal on the Clown Prince of Crime. I know I can get them for like $80 right now on Big Bad Toy Store, but I know that people are selling them for much cheaper than that. So, if you guys know of anybody that I can get them from for cheaper than $80, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go to the corporate Big Bad Toy Store for mine because I have I've had plans for a little Joker setup that I'm kind of going back on, not wanting to get a punk rock Joker, but whatever. It is what it is. People's taste change as time goes on. We're out of time. I hate all you motherfuckers. At the same time, I love yous all. It was good seeing you. It's always great to talk to Baz. The fucking Zaid brothers are awesome.
Yes.
Come back on anytime, guys. And we will see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. All right? Take care. Go Indiegogo. All right? Zaid Comics. Go look them up. All right?
Links in the description. Go get it.
Yes. All right. Oh, that's right. In the description down below, I made sure on this video I actually put the goddamn Indiegogo link. I was supposed to say it at the beginning of the show, and I didn't. So if
I'm proud of you.
Indiegogo link, it's in the link below.
Yes.
Great.
All right.
You streaming anywhere, Phil? You going anywhere next?
No, not tonight. I don't think so. I don't know. I got to check my schedule.
Right. Okay.
Mike is nerdy. Hey, what's up, everybody? Right at the sign off. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week.
Mike is tardy.
Watch
Mike
the
is tardy.
Mike is tardy.
That's a dad joke.